Well, today is Monday, December the 9th. I just got home a little bit ago from turning in my keys to Exponential Church, and it's been quite the last couple weeks since we had our last worship experience. I've had 2 weeks to basically wrap things up from an administrative standpoint for the church, and it was quite exhausting. Lots of things that had to be done in order to make that happen. So I really haven't had a lot of time just to give some of my reflections on our final days and just some thank yous, and then a little bit of what's next for Lisa and I as well. So I want to actually back up that the Thursday before our final worship experience, our band got together one last time. We actually had a little pizza party with them, and they just did what they normally do, and that is just lead us well in worship. And one of the things I've always talked about is that I love that on Thursday nights when the stage is full of people and musicians and singers, but the crowd, there wasn't anybody there, that they worship just as much during that time. And so I've been so thankful for over the 14 years, the 20 plus people that we had on the worship team, and that they were truly committed to what they were doing with that. Just absolutely amazing. So thank you to them. And I want to thank obviously then Bill for leading them. And, he's been with me all 14 years, and that's rare for a worship pastor to be with a lead pastor during that entire time. But yet he was there each and every step of the way. And I just appreciate him. He's become one of my very best friends in life, and he and Megan and Ryan and Rosemary, just we consider them family. And so thank you to the Butler family for all that you've done over this 14-year period. The final day itself was an amazing day of worship and testimony. So many people were there from the past, and denominational leaders that showed up. Thank you for that. Chuck Frank, who was the email that originally, sparked the idea for me even to move to Harrisburg to plant Exponential. He was there and shared his story. And it was so cool. And even like Galen and Jill Bricker and their son Chase, they were there, and they're like, okay, who's that? Well, they're actually from my previous church in Chambersburg. And when we had launched in 2010, they actually came up every single week for a couple months just to help us get launched and off the ground. And it was just a great reminder that this isn't the end. Just because a church isn't there or a pastor isn't in a particular church anymore, it doesn't mean that relationships end. And so I'm just thankful that that was a reminder to me that day that the people at Exponential, I'm going to have a relationship with them, hopefully for the rest of my life. We're always going to be there for you with prayer and support in any way that we possibly can. So that was a pretty cool reminder on that final day as well. And I preached that day about that, the series being that this is a bigger story that's being told, that yes, Exponential had a 14-year season, but that's actually a lot longer than what the average church actually gets, because the average church plant dies within the first 5 years. And so we got many years beyond that. But, if you think about it, every church has a life cycle, and there is no church that continues on and on and on forever. So some churches are going to have a 5-year lifespan. Some are going to have a 14-year lifespan. Some will have 100-year, 200-year, but eventually every church, including those in the book of Acts, will eventually go away. So it's, a thing of, we're in the midst of the story. There's a much bigger story that God is telling, and we're not going to know all of the details of why this particular case happened until after we were able to look back, a couple years from now on the whole thing. Now, as I've been going through, and again, there was like 40 different accounts that had to be shut down for Exponential, went through and did inventory on the entire building so that, the denomination can sell off not just the building, but all the equipment and various things that's in it as well. There was a couple funny things as I was going through there, things that you find. So I was actually up by our tech booth, and there's like sort of above the entranceway, there's a sort of ledge that you can climb up on. And so I was up there cleaning off some stuff because we would use that for storage. I found a paper airplane, and that reminded me of Ryan Butler, Bill and Megan's boy. And probably, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, he's 12 now, but he was going through a paper airplane phase. And so there was a paper airplane that just never gotten back to us. And it was up there. And it was just a reminder for me that, Ryan, he grew up in the church. He was born, when Exponential got started, and just seeing him as a infant at our staff meetings at Starbucks. And, we didn't get a lot done because all the people in Starbucks were wanting to come and see the cute little baby. And then, him on practice days and a playpen, just sort of rocking himself, trying to to come forward and everything. And, it just, I remember the year that we had our Seder meal there, and he was so excited, and he got to do one of the readings, and he's going to have memories of everything. And we all have memories of Exponential. But his sister Rosemary, she isn't. And what's so amazing about little Rosemary is she is so invested in the church as a 3-year-old. And, she knows during like practice, she would often come up into the tech booth with me and be sitting there while they were practicing. She'd go, "This is a daddy song." And she knew it just based on looking at what was on the screen, not even hearing it yet. She could see like the backgrounds and stuff. And she was able to associate those things, that this is a daddy song or this is a JT song. And so that was pretty cool. And she was so excited about the opener video that we used. We called it the "Whoa" song because it started out with this like, it says, "Here we go." And then it's like, "Whoa." And she was always excited about that. And she didn't want to miss that when they would do their run-throughs. And so before they would do a run-through on Sunday morning, we'd say, "Rosemary," we just call throughout the building, "Rosemary, come, it's time for the "Whoa" song." And so she was like really, really invested in that. And so it's weird because, as a 3-year-old, I have maybe a memory or two as a 3-year-old, but she's probably not going to remember a lot of this. So that was like one of the real emotional things that has hit me over the last couple of weeks, is that a lot of us are going to carry those memories, and we have memories of her, but she's probably not going to have some of those things. The biggest thing for me, though, over these last couple of weeks is as I've gone through the building, it's just, you see different things, and it reminds you of different people that were with us to the very end, and then people that maybe had already gone off to another church, some who have even passed away. But there's just so many memories. And that's the biggest thanks that I want to get, is to the people of Exponential for 14 years. You trusted me as your leader. And was I always perfect in that? No. But you grew, and we took next steps together. And, I never allowed people to call me Pastor Gilbert, because I'm a part of that team that we were on. And I want to just thank you so much for that. And I want to thank you for the incredible gifts that you gave to Lisa and I and Bill and Megan as we went out, from food and cards and money and candy. And just all kinds of things that you guys just blessed us with. The books that you gave us, and there was an awesome photo book. And you guys, I guess you pulled it down off of things we posted through the years off of YouTube and Facebook and other platforms, that you just pulled things off. And it's just 14 years worth of memory from both the movie theater and then, to the building that we currently had. And so it was really neat going through there and seeing some of the pictures with that. One of the things that was in the gift box, I actually have it sitting here, is in the gift basket was a thing of bonbons. And I think you guys, that was a little bit of a joke, because I've been sort of joking myself that, because people have been asking, "Well, Gilbert, what are you going to do?" And I was like, I don't know. Our instruction from God was to trust him in this process. And again, we don't understand why he asked us to do everything that's happened, but we were told to trust. And then we were told to finish well. And so, I haven't really been searching for what's next for us or what we're going to be doing, because I wanted to finish well. And again, that didn't happen until yesterday, as I got my final report all written up. And then today, as I gave that final report to Dave and then turned in my keys. But the bonbons thing is, people were saying, "Well, what are you going to do?" And I was like, I don't know. But what I do know is I don't want to just sit around on the sofa and eat bonbons all day long. And so, we're 2 weeks past, and you can see the box is now empty. So there are no more bonbons. So I can't sit around and feel sorry for myself or anything. And so, tomorrow really starts the process of praying and discerning, what does God have for Lisa and I to do next? And I have no real preconceived notions of what that may be at this point. What I do know is I've been a pastor for 24 years now, and at Exponential for the past 14, and I've never had a sabbatical. And so I know one of the things that we want to do is take at least the next couple months, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and just sort of sit back and reflect on the ministry of 24 years of being a pastor. And, what do we want this next season of life to look like? God gives us the desires of our heart. And so while we always want to follow his perfect will, sometimes his perfect will is going to be in the things that maybe we want to do. And so we're going to reflect on what is it that God has gifted us in, and what have we been able to do in the past that's been successful? What have we not been this successful with? And what is really the dream and the vision that He would have for us as we go forward? So I know one of the things I want to do during this couple month period is some more theological study for myself and just learn some things in that way. I know I want to take a class like on video editing, so I love doing video, but everything that I've ever learned video wise either was taught to me by, someone, or, I've been self-taught in a lot of it. So I'd actually like to take a course in that. This may sound strange, but I actually want to learn to do a little bit of cooking. I've been so blessed that, Lisa and I this June will have been married 30 years, and she does all the cooking. I can boil a pot of water. I can make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, maybe do a couple eggs, scramble them. But I'm, just not really had the time to learn some of those things. And so I for whatever reason, that's something I like. Hey, I'd like to actually give that a try. So I'm going to try that. Just want to continue to work. I'm 51 now, so it's not as easy to maintain this buff. But no, I'm kidding. I don't have a buff bod, and in fact, that's why I want to get back into some sort of regular type of exercise type of routine. Just make sure that, again, from a physical standpoint, in this next season of life, that I have the stamina and the energy that I'm going to need to do whatever it is that God calls us to do. So I'm going to do that. I almost want to treat this like going back to school in some ways. One of the things, we've been doing a lot of missions work down in Costa Rica. And so I've been learning my Spanish. And so that's, one thing I want to go even deeper into learning that and practicing that. So again, just going to sort of treat it almost like a school. And so a sabbatical isn't like a vacation, although we do have a plan to go see my sister who just moved out to Phoenix not too long ago. So we are going to go out and be able to spend some time with her near the holidays. And so that's pretty exciting. But so the next couple months isn't going to really be a holiday or not a holiday, a vacation. It's going to be more of a just learning and growing and reflecting and seeing, what is it that God would have for us to do next. As I always say, we're all full-time ministers of the gospel, and that still includes me. I may not have a role at a particular church right now, but we're all full-time ministers. And so just want to see how can I best make a difference for God's kingdom as we go forward. So we appreciate your prayers. And again, I just want to thank everybody throughout the 14 years of Exponential and really my 24 years of being a pastor for the encouragement that you've been to me and just the help that you've been to me, your prayer support, just every way that you've supported us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're looking forward to seeing what God will have for us to do next. And hopefully it's even in conjunction with some of you in making a difference for Him, for His kingdom, His honor, and His glory. God bless.